All right. Hey, everybody. For those of you that subscribe to us on the regular, you probably know that we do a blog twice a month, a written blog. A lot of you subscribe to it via email. It's obviously on our website at corefinancegroup.com. You can always go check that out. And then after the email distribution goes out, excuse me, which it did overnight, we do seem to be on a streak of the technology stuff working for us, that we do a video subsequent to it just to cover what that topic is. And this topic this time around is actually really relevant for those of you that catch the How I Met Your Mortgage podcast, and that's live. It's up on Amazon, Apple, and Spotify on Wednesdays. And we recorded it yesterday, and our guest, Aaron Dehart, a mortgage originator in Nevada, he and I talked quite a bit about how a lot of our home buyers will become home investors, real estate investors. You'll buy a home, live in it for a bit, let the equity build, then rent it out and buy another one, rinse and repeat kind of thing. And obviously, there's a fairly significant push again for investment residential real estate. There's an enormous niche for debt service ratio loans, non-recourse loans, these kinds of things. And we're seeing a lot of people buy and finance residential investment real estate again. And the subject of our blog this time around is how to find a home with long-term rental potential. So that's a really big one. We also do quite a bit of work on rental investment financing for short-term rental, and we've got a very specific formula and have a couple and help our clients walk through that process. And here's how many days you would need to rent it, and here's what research to do in Airbnb, in VRBO, in the location. Obviously, a lot of those things are going to transfer from short-term rental to long-term rental. So the topics that we go over when it comes to purchasing long-term rentals in order to generate revenue, in order to have long-term financial benefit. The first one is obviously location. And I know that's kind of cliche, but it's still true, right? Stereotypes exist for a reason. That location, location, location are the three most important things in real estate. And this is certainly no exception, no different. The rental market is obviously a big one. And for those of you that don't really have good resources for how to identify what the rental market would bear, just ask. We're certainly happy to do the research and get you information on what fair market rent would be for any particular property. Okay. Condition. This is a big one. Obviously, the home's condition is a big one. And you've got to understand that, we talk about when we're helping people finance short-term rentals, that anything you have in the property, you should just assume is going to get lost, broken, or stolen. Now, you don't really have anything in a long-term rental. Water heater, appliances. The odds of those getting stolen are slim, but the odds of them being abused is not. So not only the existing condition, but the long-term maintenance are things to really consider. And it's not just the fridge. You've got to consider the plumbing, the wiring, the roofing, all of these kinds of things when we're talking about long-term rentals, because we're talking about a long-term financial plan, essentially. So you've got to take those maintenance, upgrade, repair items into account as well. Okay. So condition is certainly a big one. Appreciation potential, that's a big one. I'm not going to go so deep into the weeds that we're going to be an enormous help with this, but if you're keen on buying investment residential real estate, or you already have, then you've got a real estate agent that knows this stuff. I hope you do. If not, we can certainly help with that as well. The laws, the zoning, this is obviously a big deal as well, particularly in older markets. We see a lot of, historic properties that have been converted. In fact, I have a client working on one right now. It's a historic home. I think it's a Victorian, converted to multiple units. He's going to be owner occupying one of them, which makes for far superior financing options, those kinds of things. What is our rent yield? That's a big one. And let's not forget, on top of all of those repair, improvement, maintenance items, that you're going to potentially consider management, that you're going to need to consider vacancy. These kinds of things you have got to put into your calculations when you're figuring out what your actual monthly, annual, long-term yields are going to be. Okay. Neighborhood, safety, community, walkability, all of these kinds of things have to be considered as far as attracting renters. Practical layouts, modern features, those are the kinds of things. And then with long-term rentals, real estate is not a big cash flow game. I mean, you can find a comfortable balance if you're going to buy an apartment building for cash and the rent is all revenue. You don't really have any liability, taxes, insurance, management, maintenance, vacancy, those kinds of things, but you don't have a loan, you don't have debt to service. Then there may be some cases where monthly cash flow is going to be more significant, but real estate's a long play. And this is a significant example of that. All right. So the blog is on our website if you want details about those different subjects, corefinancegroup.com. If you want to subscribe to it, you can do that on our website. One of the things that I didn't really cover and should have when the blog was written was pets. We'll talk about it more if you guys want to have that conversation. So yeah, that's it this time around. If you guys want any more information about what we look at or what we like to see when it comes to debt service ratios, both long and short term, those kinds of things, happy to do it. Otherwise, I have rambled long enough. It is a fairly long blog post this time around, but this is a subject that I focus on and deal with. So I guess I got a little long-winded. You guys will have to bear with me. And other than that, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for reading the blog. Thanks for checking out the website. Thanks for watching the video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And other than that, I will see you guys next time.